Undersecretary Lago, State Representative Balde, Mayor Olson, Mayor Olson, distinguished guests, dear friends and colleagues, welcome to Niche Cocoa Services, Inc., the newest and most remarkable chocolate factory in the world. I'm Steve Wallace, the North American project manager for Niche, as well as founder and president of Milwaukee's Oman-Hini Cocoa Bean Company, and I'm delighted you could join us here today. So many stories converge here in Franklin, Wisconsin. The story of Niche begins, however, with Edmund Poku, a remarkable Ghanaian entrepreneur. Edmund founded Niche Cocoa in Ghana, West Africa, and built it into a formidable company, processing nearly 10% of all the cocoa beans grown in Ghana, which in any given year is the first or second largest grower of cocoa in the world. I first met Edmund many years ago when he was studying for his MBA at Columbia University. He needed a capstone project and wanted to study Ghana's cocoa industry. He knew I had been working in the area for many years, and we shared ideas, we brainstormed, and the rest is history. His capstone project won high marks, blossomed into a full-blown business plan. It attracted initial funding, and due to Edmund's incredible hard work and his immense talent, became the largest Ghanaian-owned cocoa processor in Ghana. Niche's installed capacity in Ghana is now as large as many of the well-established billion-dollar global companies with whom he competes, some of whom have been in the cocoa processing business for well over 100 years. And today, Edmund controls 3 factories: the mothership in Ghana, a melting facility in Germany, and now this wonderful chocolate and cocoa powder manufacturing facility here in Franklin, Wisconsin. Now, my story is simple. I'm a kid from Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, who at the age of 16 won an AFS student exchange scholarship, and I was given a chance to live with a family in the town of Sunyani, in the heart of Ghana's cocoa growing region. And that's when I first started thinking about chocolate, the cocoa value chain, and why Ghana, a place that arguably grows the finest cocoa in the world, seemed stuck on the lowest rung of that value chain. Now, when I ask people where good chocolate comes from, many answer Switzerland or Belgium. But how many cocoa trees do you think grow in Zurich? So my company, the Oman-Hini Cocoa Bean Company, undertook the first attempt to transform Ghana from a cocoa growing country into a chocolate manufacturing country. But it fell to Edmund to make the sort of investments in the sector that I had only dreamed of. Edmund has taught me a lot, including humility, as his singular and rapid achievements are upending the traditional European-centered chocolate industry. And this is also a story about globalism. And I'd like to think that Niche is really rewriting the story of what a new globalism looks like in the 21st century. For many years, the traditional African investment narrative consisted of wealthy nations like the United States investing money in Africa, often in the context of charitable donations or development funding or other aid. But today, Niche brings this narrative full circle with a significant arm's-length African investment, more accurately, a Ghanaian investment, into the American Midwest right here in Franklin, Wisconsin. I think this is also a story, so many stories, about public diplomacy and soft power. It's a story of how educational exchanges made possible by government funding and granting student visas to young people broaden the horizons of both Edmund and me. By virtue of our studying abroad, our eyes became bigger, our horizons were extended, and as a result, the world became a tiny bit smaller. This is also a story about numbers. Niche's investment in Wisconsin is the largest ever African food and beverage investment from anywhere on the continent of Africa to anywhere in the United States since records have been kept decades ago. And it's here in Franklin. And regardless of sector, whether it's manufacturing or pharma or food and beverage or financial services, Niches is the largest African investment of any type into any state in the Union in at least the last 2 years. So yes, the numbers are impressive, but this is also a story about cooperation and the generosity of spirit and the frugality of ego that I think is typical of Wisconsin. This factory exists due to the efforts of many of you who are with us today, and I'd like to recognize Rebecca Grease of the Milwaukee 7 and Francisco Carrillo of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation in particular, because Niche wouldn't be here without you, your hard work, and your remarkable good cheer. And the workforce here in Wisconsin is second to none. And I'd like to recognize Dan Page of the Design Build Group, our general contractor, and his colleagues, Ben Miller, Hiram Miller, Shane Kale, and Benjamin Miller, who designed and installed all this complicated electrical wiring. Jeff Peterson and Jake Kremell and our friends at Doral Corporation helped install this valuable machinery. Jim Farley of Butters Fetting oversaw the installation of our chiller and pipe fitting. John Gullidge of Gull Manufacturing is dealing with our material handling. And our Colliers International Real Estate team is Steve Seward, Charlie Swain, Mary Voles, and Kim Gerhardt. And finally, I'd like to thank our landlord, James Campbell and Company, for bringing us this shiny new North American home. Truly, there are many stories already written here in this building and many more to come. Niche came to Wisconsin in large part through the efforts of Select USA, the division of the U.S. Commerce Department responsible for business attraction of foreign companies. And for many overseas investors, Select USA and the U.S. Commerce Department is the first chapter in their coming to America story. So it's my very great honor to welcome from Washington, D.C., Undersecretary of Commerce for International Trade, Marissa Lago.
What an absolutely beautiful story, Steve. And congratulations to you, Steve, and to Edmund on getting this exciting expansion over the finish line. And thank you for the sweet treat, to make a bad pun, of inviting me here to celebrate with you, because you told a fascinating story, but the story is still unfolding, and I'm so proud to be able to have the Department of Commerce be part of that story. Your friendship, your partnership, speak not only to the power of global commerce, but also to the soft power of travel and tourism, and in particular, student exchange programs, which are student exchange programs are a major priority of the Department of Commerce, because we realize that it builds these linkages across the globe. Now, I am fortunate enough to have twice visited Accra, but it took this expansion to get me to Wisconsin, and I cannot think of a better occasion for my first visit to the Badger State. So this milestone is a testament to the two of you, but the people that you have brought together here today: Mayor Olson, Representative Balde, Secretary Hughes, Milwaukee 7, it speaks to the importance of partnerships between the private and public sectors, but also partnerships among multiple levels of government. So why is the Department of Commerce's International Trade Administration so pleased to be part of this team? Because we are so committed to building a more prosperous, but also a more inclusive economy through strengthening the competitiveness of U.S. industry and their workers, ensuring fair trade practices, and also promoting trade and investment. And this promotion of trade and investment includes encouraging foreign businesses like Niche Coco to invest in American communities and their workers. We are committed to strengthening our economic and commercial relationships in capitals around the world to help create jobs and prosperity here in America, in communities like Franklin. From computer chips to chocolate, and everything in between, we are laser focused on attracting investments from innovative companies like Niche Coco. The historic investment that we celebrate today, and Steve mentioned it, but it is worth repeating, the largest ever investment in the U.S. food and beverage sector from an African investor. This is a concrete example of the results that we're achieving. So today, Niche Coco, you're joining a diverse array of forward-looking companies that are growing their businesses in the U.S. The U.S. has been the top destination for foreign investment for over a decade running. Why are these innovative companies coming here? They're drawn by our strong workforce, cutting-edge research ecosystem, robust domestic market, extensive intellectual property protections, and so many other facets of our vibrant, dynamic, and open economy. So in turn, the benefits of foreign investment flow across industries and regions. The one statistic that I'll give you is that foreign investment supports enough jobs in Wisconsin to fill Lambeau Field 1.5 times over. These investments bring to communities like Franklin not just well-paying jobs, but also tax revenue and new avenues to achieve mutual prosperity. I'm optimistic that today's investment and others like it will inspire more African businesses to reach for their share of the boundless opportunities for growth and investment in the United States. Edmund, I think we're making you an honorary ambassador to the African business community. So our team at the International Trade Administration stands ready to help, and especially through the program that Steve mentioned, Select USA. The Select USA program counsels and guides foreign firms who are seeking to invest in the United States. And in fact, it was at this year's annual Select USA Investment Summit just this past June where I first encountered Edmund and Niche Coco as part of the Ghanaian delegation. I'm so proud that our ITA team, the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, the Milwaukee 7, the town of Franklin, were all able to facilitate Niche's decision to invest here. Now, today we're celebrating foreign direct investment into the United States, but the International Trade Administration is also here to help Wisconsin companies compete abroad. We have employees based in over 100 US locations, including in Milwaukee, but also in some 70 markets around the globe, including Accra. So this ITA team draws on deep local market knowledge to find potential US exporters and then help these businesses, micro, small, medium, large businesses, to find new opportunities and new markets to grow their business overseas. So I encourage all of you here who are involved with the Wisconsin business community to engage these trade and economic development teams at all levels of government to bring more jobs to Wisconsin by strengthening homegrown businesses and by welcoming additional overseas businesses. And my hope is that Edmund Niche Coco is soon going to have some new neighbors from overseas here in Franklin, building on your success. So we are looking forward to watching Niche Coco continue to grow and thrive as it shares Ghana's bounty, your delicious bounty, with Americans. And by doing that, you are going to shrink the 6,000 miles into the space of a single bite. So thank you, and congratulations once again to Edmund and the whole Niche Coco team. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you very much, Undersecretary. Now, once Niche was persuaded by Select USA to come to the United States, it fell to the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation that played a singular role in persuading Niche to come to Wisconsin. So please welcome the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation Secretary and CEO, Missy Hughes.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everybody. If my voice is shaking, it's not because I'm nervous, it's because I'm freezing. And it's also because Undersecretary Lago is here. And I feel like I just want to make sure that everybody understands the importance of her presence here in Wisconsin. The Undersecretary is responsible for advocating for the U.S. on the global marketplace. And she's here in Wisconsin to celebrate this investment. And it shows the importance of this investment, but it also shows the opportunity that we have in Wisconsin for our businesses to expand in the global marketplace, and also for businesses to come here and invest in Wisconsin like Niche Coco has done. Undersecretary, we just had the opportunity to be in Korea, taking businesses there, and your team at the U.S. Commercial Service helped us understand the marketplace in Korea. They briefed our companies on what to expect and how to engage with Korean companies. So thank you for having the team there to take care of us, and thank you, of course, for being here. WEDC and the entire state of Wisconsin are delighted to welcome Niche Coco here. We are a food and beverage powerhouse. Companies like Haribo, Kikkoman have decided to invest in Wisconsin and make Wisconsin their home, to make their incredible gummy bears, their incredible soy sauce, and now Niche Coco will be here to make their incredible chocolate. We have many products that we often think of as we were in Korea. Everybody says, well, you make cheese and beer, yeah? Well, we make cranberries, and we make all sorts of other products, but we also make the products that process those products. The great machines that you see in many of our food and beverage companies are created here in Wisconsin. We invest in innovation, we invest in our students, in our workforce, through our universities and our tech colleges, and that results in a marketplace and an opportunity for food and beverage companies to really succeed. I spent 17 years prior to coming to my position at a dairy company based here in Wisconsin that goes all the way from the farmers to the market. And so it's incredibly important that we understand the value of agriculture in Wisconsin, and also how that turns into the value of our food and beverage industry here. This investment, though, is special. It's the largest, as the Undersecretary said, I'm going to say it again, the largest food and beverage investment by an Africa-based company in U.S. history, and the largest Ghanaian foreign direct investment ever in Wisconsin. It is my great hope that this won't last for long, that this record won't last for long. I hope that Mr. Poku and his colleagues will share their experiences in Wisconsin and with their partners across Africa. I have spoken with Representative Baldi, where is he? There he is, about the opportunities that we need to continue to explore in Africa, and I'm dedicated to working with him and my team and the U.S. Commercial Service in Milwaukee to make that happen. Many more African companies have the opportunity to learn about Wisconsin, and we have the opportunity to learn about African companies. And I look forward to those partnerships and many, many sweet successes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Secretary Hughes. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this whole process, and I wasn't when I started, any company considering investing in southeastern Wisconsin receives all sorts of support from both the public sector and the private sector. Here in Wisconsin, they work hand in glove and make the decision to locate here seamless and easy. Representing the private sector, the Milwaukee 7, please welcome PNC Bank Regional President, Chris Herman.
Thank you, Steve. And Edmund, this is such an exciting moment, and we welcome you on behalf of the M7 here to Franklin and to the greater Milwaukee community. So, as Steve mentioned, I'm Chris Herman. I'm the regional president for PNC Bank in the state of Wisconsin, and I am here representing M7 proudly here today. M7 is a partnership of private and public entities within the 7 counties of southeastern Wisconsin. Our mission is to bring business and economic development communities together to do two primary things. First, to attract and expand great businesses like Niche Coco here today, and second, to develop and grow an outstanding world-class workforce. I'd also like to thank Marissa Lago and the Undersecretary of Commerce for being here this morning. Missy Hughes and your outstanding team at WEDC, thank you so much. The mayor and the city of Franklin, thank you so much. And Steve, had the pleasure of meeting your family here earlier today, learning a little bit about the story of this connection that has sprouted into become this really exciting investment. On behalf of M7, Edmund and Niche Coco, we are so excited to have you. As everyone has mentioned, Wisconsin is a manufacturing powerhouse in the food and beverage industry. We have a great infrastructure from a manufacturing perspective, a great workforce to be here to support your future growth, and we are so excited to welcome you to Southeast Wisconsin and the Franklin community. So with that, thank you so much for making this investment here today.
Thank you, Chris. Now, once Niche saw the benefits of moving to Wisconsin, it fell to the mayor of the city of Franklin to close the deal. So I'd like to introduce Steve Olson, the mayor of Franklin, Wisconsin.
Steve, that was very kind of you, but it was all you. So first of all, Mr. Poku, welcome to the city of Franklin. I'm so pleased that you chose us for your new company and your new venture here in the United States. Thank you, Steve, for helping him along and picking this. They didn't tell you when Edmund came to visit the site, it was what, January? And probably 2 feet of snow on the ground. And he still picked us, which just is a testimony to the quality of the area that we have. So, Madam Undersecretary, thank you for being the first federal government, other than representatives, to join us here in the city of Franklin. I'm glad that you picked Franklin for your first soiree into the state of Wisconsin. So thank you very much. Edmund brings an international company to the city of Franklin that joins many other international companies here in the city. And together, working with Edmund and Steve and the other companies here in the business park, we're going to assure that Edmund and his business thrives just like the rest of them here in the city of Franklin. And we're going to call on Missy Hughes to help us with that. And M7, I very much appreciate our new partnership. It's been, 8 or 10 years since we've had lots of business dealings together. So thank you for bringing Niche Coco to us. And with that, I'm going to end my comments by saying thank you very much. Congratulations, Edmund. Call me for anything. Thank you very much, and welcome to the city of Franklin.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Now, in Ghana, when you've journeyed far with someone, you often refer to that person as my brother or my sister. So it's my singular honor and my very, very great pleasure to introduce you to the founder of Niche Coco, my brother, Edmund Poku.
First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to everybody here. You've made this to be a success story and have welcomed us very well to your beautiful state as well as Franklin. The first thing one may ask is, what brings us to the doorstep of Franklin? One is to bring trade between Ghana and the United States. In Ghana, we process and add value to cocoa beans before we export to the international market. Before, it was exporting raw cocoa beans to United States for processing. But now, we are going to bring in semi-finished products, refine it into cocoa chocolate, and as well as pulverizing cocoa cake into cocoa powder. And what does that one bring to Ghana? It brings in foreign exchange back into the country. The cocoa industry is about 100 billion, of which Ghana and Ivory Coast is getting 6 billion. By adding more value to it, Africa, as well as Ghana and Ivory Coast, as well as Africa as in general, will get more of the pie and bring foreign exchange into the country. And what does it bring to United States? It brings in foreign direct investment into the country. It brings in the technical know-how of processing chocolate into the country. We always say that chocolate is big in Switzerland. We believe that coming here, we are going to produce one of the best chocolates, whereby it will also let United States to be proud of the chocolate industry as well. Finally, I would like to say thank you to the team, Steve, for encouraging us to be able to move into Wisconsin. We believe that this partnership is going to be great for both countries, Ghana and the United States, and keep us in a very strong relationship. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Edmund. Thank you all. It's our wish that this company represents proof that globalism can indeed lift all boats, that globalism can create jobs and wealth throughout the world, often in unexpected places, and that companies themselves can indeed be agents of positive change. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll now have a short tour and invite you to take some chocolate treats with you as you depart. And I just ask the speakers to come forward so we can do a group photo. But thank you so much for all being here today. It means the world to us.